Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the S-Team podcast. I'm Jack Matty, and joining me this week, he's co-hosted the podcast before, it's Matty Morris!
Hello peeps.
If you're wondering,
I said peeps.
if you're wondering where Mikey is, basically what he's doing, he's got a job at the Cuckoo Clock Factory, and he's currently measuring time, so he's away today.
But apparently he's not working. He's busy.
I don't know what he's doing. He might have a legit reason. He might just be tired. There you go. He might just be tired. If you're probably wondering where we've been for the last few months, because it has been a while since we last done this, Mikey's been in between jobs, so naturally he's been looking for work. Matty's basically been a boat and decided to sail off into the sunset somewhere, and I've also been busy, but we should be back on a more, I'd say, semi-regular basis from now on. If it's not every week, it'll be once every 2 weeks at least. And obviously we've got E3 coming up soon as well, and that could just about coincide with the 100th ever podcast, because we are on 96.
Oh, decent.
So if we do 3 more podcasts before E3, then the 100th one will be the E3 one, which will be great. Now, naturally, I know it's been a while, but have you been, Matt?
I'm tired, I'm peeved off, and yeah, I'm great.
Normal day for you then.
Oh yeah.
Normal day for you.
How are you?
I'm grand. I'm actually grand. It's a nice sunny day. We're going to get this podcast done, and then I'm going to go golf range with you, so that'll be awesome.
Heads up, Mikey.
He's smashing him in from 50 yards away, or 50 miles, and making sure we just pop one off the top of his head. He'll be sitting there in his room,
Smash into his PlayStation.
That's not just a big golf ball shaped hole in his place. It's just like a little message underneath it saying, "With regards." But,
He'd really be pissed off then.
He would be pissed off. Now, as you know, we do a guess the song, what year the song came out. Matty's historically not very good at this.
No.
We've only ever got one, and that was a game.
This is going to be over quite quickly.
It should be over quite quickly, but this is a popular song. It was popular, and it's up to you to guess the year. I'm guessing you reckon it.
For the advert.
That's why I put it in. But that is
I don't know.
Lola's Theme by the Shapeshifters. Now, Matty's obviously going to try and have a guess, a wild stab in the dark.
Yeah, this is going to be my childhood relived again. 2001.
2001. That's not a bad guess, to be fair.
That's my childhood.
It's not 2001.
Crap.
It's actually 2004.
Oh, 3 years out.
Not far out, though, to be fair. That you've done a lot worse, let's be brutally honest.
Yeah, it wasn't the biggest one, like a 30-year gap.
30-year gap, yeah, I remember that one. I can't remember what song that was. It was a 60s song, I think. Was it
It was
Dean
60s.
Martin? It was Dean Martin, wasn't it?
It was a 60s song, and I said 1990s.
1990. Now we've got some big news to go through.
Have we?
Yeah. Not to do with the election, because
Thank God for
can't
that.
be fucked.
No, I mean,
We're a nice podcast. We try and stay away from main stories that just take the piss. But one big thing that broke out yesterday, hundreds have been rescued in America, I believe, as police have smashed an international paedophilia ring. Now, nearly 900 suspected paedophiles have been arrested, and almost 300 children have been identified and rescued from their abusers following the massive takedown of an underground online network. Apparently it's in US and Europe. Apparently it's took 2 years investigation into the notorious Playpen network. That sounds dodgy to begin with.
mm-hmm.
And I love how other countries report on the FBI. So got FBI in America, or everywhere else goes, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Europol, said the announcements. And apparently the administrator of all this, Stephen Chase, has been given 30 years in prison. I'll just impersonate Mikey. Well, he should have got longer than that. He should be dead and strung up by his balls. I agree with that statement, to be brutally
Have all
honest.
the paedophiles been arrested?
Well, apparently up to 900.
It would explain why Mikey's not here.
I'm busy in court. Just a Snapchat going, I'm going down, kids. That was wrong. I didn't mean it like that.
Please don't hate us, Mikey.
No, apparently the operation was known as Operation Pacifier.
Are they watching the Vin Diesel movie from a few years ago?
They've been watching Boss Baby and just came up with a name. Apparently, the investigation began when the FBI used its own malware to effectively seize the Playpen website and server. Now, apparently more than 1,000 computers had been hacked worldwide. Now, some people have said, is this actually legal to do so? It's like, probably not, but to be honest with you, if they're going to do that, I'd rather them target paedophiles and terrorists.
As long as it's paedophiles and terrorists.
I've got no problem with that. But it's good. The one thing I want to point out though about this, it is Australian reporting this, is that for some strange reason, you know how you get videos embedded that don't have anything to do with it. This doesn't have anything to do with it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But there's for some reason there's a random video of Prince Philip in it embedded into the webpage.
What?
The thing I seen when I seen it this morning was 100 rescued as police smash international paedophile rings. Like, oh, Prince Philip's been caught up in it. But no, apparently not. It's just a random video that's embedded. So Australia 7 News probably be a good idea to remove that video. Have you seen all that nonsense about the Prince Philip's not doing anymore?
Yeah, but don't blame him. He's 91.
91. Like, leave him alone. I wouldn't want to work until I'm after 65, unless it's something I like doing. Which
I don't want to work after I'm 20.
I know.
Unless I have to.
I don't want to work. Can you pay me money for going out on long walks and catching Pokemon? Because that'd be a great job.
Hey, you could do that, you know. Just become a mountain climber, so rescuer.
That is a good point.
Get paid, rescue people, and you can look at animals. I want to do that job.
Now, in other news, in English news, this is a story from a month ago, and I thought I did want to mention it a month ago, but then we had to pull out at the last second. But I'm going to mention it now.
Is it local?
It's just England. There's been a new legislation brought in from the government. Has said that Monaco-style Grand Prix events could now be hosted on English roads.
I saw that.
They will allow motorsport promoters to apply for permission from local authorities to close public roads in England to stage races. Now, you get like a city-based Grand Prix for like touring cars. Now, a lot of people might sit there and think, well, that's good and all, but have we got a history of doing this? Yeah, because we had the Crystal Palace years ago used to have their British Saloon Car Championship back when it was known then.
Don't we have the Formula E as well?
That was that London race, wasn't it? They did. They had that, but I mean that's allowed because it's London and they operate in their own bubble. But there are other places. So I mean, the best city Grand Prix that has ever been known in England is the Birmingham Grand Prix. It used to host touring cars, even select Formula 1 events and stuff, and it was so awesome. But I'm just made up to see that.
It just pissed even more people off. Why is there fucking traffic now? That's why.
I wouldn't care less. I think it's a great move because we go to the New Brighton Rally every year.
That's fun.
And New Brighton Rally is an amazing event, and you got Blackpool's got their own stages, rally and stuff, and because they're on the coast and the roads that they're hosted on aren't majorly affected. Because New Brighton, for example, there's 5 or 6 different ways you can get to New Brighton without having to go on the promenade along the front. So it makes sense to host it there.
I remember when, I think it was 2 years ago, they'd done the road up, all nice and thing. 2 weeks later the rally went on it. And then the next day and the days after, the skid marks were still there.
Yeah.
At least that's a never-ending heritage.
I know. It's great to see, and I'm made up, because now we get to have, more events that could be, I mean, Chester has got a lot of grounds that we could use. I'd go and see a Chester race, I don't care.
There's literally no roads to race around in Chester.
There is in Cheshire.
Oh, I thought it said Chester.
I did make it sound like Chester, to be fair. I won't deny that. But no, Cheshire has got some really good places you could go.
Ooh.
I can't remember.
What the
there's a big castle there that I can't pronounce the name of that have got some really nice grounds. But the
Cheshire
public road, yeah.
Since when the hell did we have a castle in Cheshire? I need to look this shit up.
Lalamentry Castle, is it? I think it is, or something like that. Or as we like to call it, the fake Welsh town. we've got some other news because I want to get through main news because we've
then
got
we're going
weird
to
news.
games, and then
We've got game reviews, which is just going to be a nightmare to get through.
Oh, and movie reviews.
Yeah, that's true. Now, as you know, we're big PlayStation owners here, including he who shall not be named, otherwise known as Corporate Keating. We love PlayStation, and I know a lot of people say to me, people I speak to, is like, Jack, how come you always crap on the Xbox? It's like, well, simple reason really. They released a crap console, which should have been a lot better, and it should have challenged PlayStation. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate Microsoft. I just don't like the Xbox console because it was weak, and it wound me up because the PlayStation 4, as brilliant as it is, has a number of areas that the Xbox does do better. Like, you could say games with gold. I mean, admittedly, that's not a personal appeal to me, but not as good as games with gold. Ours isn't as good. PS Plus, I'll admit that. And there are other things like the customer service, and one thing that Xbox announced the other week was...
Oh yeah, customer service, that's horrific.
But yeah,
I mean, you know, there's cards we have to get for PSN points.
Yeah.
I got a 51. Accidentally scratched half the number out when I was doing it too hard.
Yeah.
I sent a photo of that, the receipt, and all sorts, and they said, I can't get the money back. I was like, you fucking what? 3 days of non-stop email and shit and photos, and I can't get my money back. Bastard.
But I've lost my train of thought now. What was I saying?
Microsoft customer service.
I know I was saying customer service, but I can't remember the point I was going to go on.
Stuff that's better than PSN.
Yeah, they do a lot of things that are better. And don't get me wrong, Microsoft's still got some good games out there.
Actually, their games which are Microsoft specific are quite good.
Forza Horizon 3,
Halo,
which is the only game.
Rome.
You telling me you'd buy an Xbox for Halo?
I did.
The latest one?
No.
That's what I mean.
The Rome game back when the Xbox One came on, that was great.
I meant of the last 12 months.
Not a single
Apart from
one.
Horizon, there's nothing.
Not a single
and
one.
to be honest with you, Forza Horizon 3 is the game that makes me want to go out and buy an Xbox One on the cheap.
Just one game though.
Yeah, and then trade it back in and then get the money for it.
May as well just borrow someone's Xbox, borrow their game and play that and give it to them back.
No, because who am I going to borrow an Xbox from?
Mikey's probably going to buy one.
It's not even his.
No, he's probably going to buy one anyway. There's a new Dodo coming in.
Yeah. Thanks to his cuckoo clock making. But obviously Microsoft had to come back with the next hybrid console. Let's not say next generation console, because the PS4 Pro came out and it's a stunning piece of work. But Microsoft the other month showed off some new specs for the Project Scorpio that they've called it. Why didn't they just call it Xbox Scorpio? Because that's a cool name.
Why did you call it the Xbox One Scorpio?
I don't know. I'd call it the Xbox Scorpio. It hasn't got a name yet, but it's known as the Project Scorpio. It's the latest Xbox.
That's what they should call it. Is it out already? Is it?
No. They've been releasing more details on it. It's got ultra high 4K resolutions and at high frame rates. This has been shown. They were demonstrating the new Forza with it. The console's graphic chip uses 40 high-speed processing cores to produce HD images. The images do look crystal friggin' clear. It's also got a bunch of new shiny hardware inside of it, such as the central processor, which has got 8 cores that run at 2.3 gigahertz. If you compare that to the PS4 Pro, it's 2.1 gigahertz, and normal Xbox One's, I want to say 1.75, 1 3/4. It sounds about right. And they also said that the graphics units can run at a higher speed than those in the Sony's PS4 Pro console. And the fact that is the main big fact that I love is Eurogamer had estimations, and we're looking through the tech specs of it. They're saying that the GPU, if you don't know what GPU means, it's graphical processing unit, is going to run 4.5 times more powerful than a normal Xbox One, which in simple terms is a friggin' load.
Yes. That's a lot.
That's a lot. Now,
let's just say the rest of it can cope.
now I think, Actually, it's not even a thing. I know that this Scorpio will be a better console than the PS4 Pro in terms of graphic output and stress loads, etc.
That's what I was thinking.
It
what
will
about the overheats like the old Xbox did? Red Ring of Death.
It could. Let's not forget. It could do.
That's what put me off Xboxes.
Yeah.
The red ring.
The Red Ring of Death. Yeah.
I got in one day from school. Turned on. It was red. I was like, no! Box throw up. About to take this.
There's a really good story about what they had to do. What Peter Moore, who was the corporate executives at the time, who's now in turn the new CEO of Liverpool Football Club.
That's a big change.
Yeah, he bounced from one industry to another to then back into football, and he's a proper Liverpool supporter and fan at heart because he was born in Liverpool. And when the Red Ring of Death happened at the time, they knew it was $1.5 billion they had to spend to fix that problem, and it was a case of we either let this run and hopefully someone can sort of, or we go back and fix it ourselves, and knowing in the long run that'll help Xbox, which it did. It was a $1.5 billion decision that helped fix the Xbox's problems and cement it as the best 7th gen console of the lot.
The Xbox 360.
Yeah, the 360. Yeah. Well, I mean, aside from the Wii, but the Wii's mentioned. The Wii was a great console.
Only for Wii Sports. Wii.
Pretty much. And this new Xbox One, Scorpio, Project Scorpio, whatever you want to call it, when it comes to playing multi-platform games, so I'm talking like your Call of Duties, Battlefield, stuff like that, if you love your graphics and you love your console specs, this is the one to have. Forget PlayStation. I just think, well, it's 2017 now, and the consoles have been out for 4 years. We've probably got another 3 or 4 years left of this generation of consoles.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like a long time away, but it is. A very short time now. I think it's too late to make any progress back into catching up with PlayStation because on this generation, but I do think it's a very good platform. And I also think that Phil Spencer, who's the CEO of Xbox at the minute, has taken the right steps to put Xbox back in the market come the 9th gen of consoles. I'm not including the Switch because that's a complicated issue in itself. The only issues that I have with this Scorpio, the only issue actually, it's not even issues, it's just the one. How much is this going to cost? The PS4 Pro is about
£750.
It was rhetorical.
No, I'm guessing it will be.
Yeah.
Like $1,000
it'd be like
dollars.
This new PS4 Pro, how much is it? It's 380 in it, or for 350 PS4 Pro. Let's do a quick Google search, shall we?
The current PlayStation's like 150, 170.
PS4 Pro PlayStation price. Let's see. No, I'm not even going to be that long.
I like the music though.
Yeah, according to game, 350 quid, which is in my head puts it
decent.
This is gonna. You say decent. It's still a lot for a console.
That's what we always paid for the PlayStations when they came out.
Yeah, that's true. This is better than a PS4 Pro.
500 quid, give or take.
It would. I think with the hardware specifications they've got in it,
500 quid.
It's going to be more than 400.
Mm-hmm.
It could be with bundles 500 quid, like you said, which I suspect they will do. And let's not forget, we've got E3 in a month. We'll find out more about the Scorpio then. They'll show it off.
What's E3 next month, is it?
Next month in June.
Thank God for that.
I can't wait. They're going to bundle it with games and a controller and all sorts of high shiny stuff.
The usual crap, yeah.
And it will be good. And I just hope that Xbox's influence can push Sony to do things a bit better. I don't mind if people prefer Xbox over PlayStation, as long as they say to me why they feel the need to like it. No, I don't care. Let's not forget, some people who grew up with Xbox have stayed with Xbox out of loyalty. You did. Mikey had an Xbox. I had
an Xbox 360.
Had a 360.
I was a PS1, PS2, Xbox 360, PS4.
And came back to the PS4 side. All they have to do is just recapture the 360 days, and it's going to be very difficult for people to go, "Oh, which console do I pick?" Because I'll tell you right now that I'm more than likely, if PlayStation get a console out that's good, and Xbox comes up with a console that's good, I'm going to go over PS5. That's a fact. I just hope that Microsoft can keep pushing Sony to do more. Like they announced the other week about this trial thing that they're doing that they've brought out. It's like if you buy a game within 14 days and you don't play more than 3 hours of it and you don't like it, you can return it and get your refund back. That's on Xbox. And I thought, that's a great idea. Why don't we push Sony to do that?
No, they would do that.
I think they would. I think if enough people got behind it and said, that's a good idea.
Way to get around that. It's anything offline.
No, if you buy the game and it's an internal log.
Yeah, you can still play it offline.
Yeah, but they can still monitor whether you're playing it or not. Because there will be an internal log on the game saying how long you've played it for. Every game has an internal log.
Okay. I was going to say they could do that weird thing where they...
Yeah, where you do that. I know what you mean.
10 o'clock back.
That's a clever idea, but I think they'd know. I think they're clever enough to realise people doing that. Let's be honest.
What was I going to say anyway? I was going to say something.
You were going to say something maybe to do with Xbox?
I was actually. Oh no, it was PlayStation. Maybe it'd be like the old PS3 days. Let's be honest, the PS3 was shit compared to the 360.
When it first came out, yeah, I'll agree to that.
And then
when we got to the end of the life of the console, the PS3 was better. But it was too little, too late. Like now.
They realised how good the Xbox 360 was. Wanted to make the PS4 a lot better. They did. Do you reckon it'll be like that again? Oh, the shit one for the PS4 Pro.
No, because the Xbox One, or the first, I want to say Xbox One, I mean the first original Xbox when it came out, did very well. It wasn't better than the PS2, because the PS2 is still the greatest selling console of all time. I think it's over 125 million sold, and still sells to this day. But that compared with the Xbox, very good console at its time, and they took the leaps and bounds to go onto the 360. And the problem with the Xbox One wasn't to do with Phil Spencer, who took over not so long ago. It was to do with their whole corporate division when they tried to market it as a TV, watch films and crap on it.
That fucking voice control thing was shocking.
But the Kinect,
yeah,
they kept trying to set, and then Phil Spencer came in and said, right, well we'll depackage that and just sell the console without the Kinect, and he's got the right mind to do it. I do think the next gen of consoles are going to be good, but right now at this moment in time, I'm more interested in the games, and Xbox really need to pull their arse.
They've got one game which you want. I don't want any.
I want Forza Horizon more than most things, to be honest. I do love the look. I've seen so much stuff of that game and I'm like, I want that game really badly.
The only reason I got an Xbox One with my dad's
was to play Halo.
And Rome. That was the only two reasons I got it.
Yeah.
Still haven't played Halo. Rome was brilliant though. Gory as hell, and it's a good story.
Yeah, I mean, they don't get me wrong, Xbox still know how to do a good game. It's just, they do. You know, it's just been a few years since they last did something that stood out.
I mean, they don't even have Tomb Raider to themselves anymore.
No, because it's come back to PlayStation, and like I said, a year before it came onto PlayStation, I said, it'll come to PlayStation with all the bells and whistles on it, and sure enough it did, all packaged in one. That's what I said at the time, that's what they're going to do. It's not a lost cause.
Right, what's the next story?
We're going to go on to weird news.
Hey, finally. Wait, what, that wasn't gaming news?
No. No, that was me talking about the Scorpio, because it is main news for us, let's be honest.
Oh,
have you heard about a new pair of jeans?
Oh, don't say they're all ripped every single
No,
thing.
but you're not far off. Nordstrom, a company, I want to say in America. Yeah, it would be, because it's in dollars.
Don't say rip.
Have you ever wished when you walked down the street people thought you were a gardener? You worked in a farm, doing heavy labour.
Not really, no.
No, well, maybe there's I'll tell you what, if you say yes to any of those questions that I've just said, if you're listening, then Nordstrom have made a pair of jeans for you.
What, full of straw? Full of grass?
No. Nordstrom have created what can only be described...
A tractor on a pocket?
What have they called? No, they haven't called it. They've called them the Barracuda straight leg jeans.
The Barracuda's a snake, isn't it?
Yeah. And they are described on Nordstrom's site as Americana workwear that's seen some hard... No, it says Americana here.
Yeah, so down south Mexico.
That's seen some hard work in action with a crackled cake on muddy coating that shows you're not afraid to get down and dirty. What they've done is they've put
brown stain.
No, they've put dirt on jeans.
So a brown stain.
Look, I just.
Wait, have they actually put stains of mud? Or...
This is a picture, right? Look, that is a picture there. This top one, they have put dirt on the. First things first. No, this is my biggest problem with it. You don't get dirt like that. Natural dirt patterns don't appear like that on jeans.
Is it actual dirt?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't even.
Basically, ladies and gents, there's just dirt on the kneecaps. We don't know if it's real or fake.
The thing is, though, that is my biggest issue with it. It's not even the price, because the price is just hilarious.
70 quid?
No.
Don't say 100.
No.
200?
No.
1,000?
$425.
You're kidding me?
For a pair of jeans, you could go to Primark, pick up an £8 pair of jeans,
throw mud on yourself,
throw mud on yourself, and then you'd be like, "Oh yeah, these are as good as Nordstrom's." Like, what the fuck? It is one of the most spectacular cock-ups.
No, it's not just a cock-up.
I just who thought that would? Tony,
$400.
Do you like going to a farm? But yeah, I live on a farm. Do you like jeans? Yeah. Do you like dirt? Yeah. There we go. There's your mark. We sell it to Tony.
The farmer's barely got 400 quid to spend.
I know. I would. If it had been like, if someone had gone, the $20, I'd be like, that is a stupid enough price for it to catch on. But it's $420.
No, you're seeing people in New York City just walking around with muddy jeans now.
I just can't believe that. Other news that came out in April.
Ooh,
I've got here.
We're going back in time.
What? The headline of this is the world's greatest, like one of the best headlines of the year. A Wi-Fi sex toy with built-in camera fails penetration test. Sex toy designer Svacom decided that a vibrator needed a camera on the end, and it also needed
the inside end.
I'm not finished. And it also needed a Wi-Fi access point. It turns out that it failed not because of its issue, because of its premise. It failed because of the fact that the device is hackable. Apparently, and I'm not joking here, that the people that were testing it, pen test partners. It just doesn't write itself, does it? Took a look at the device, and the researchers probably wish they hadn't, because of it's just like,
well, all the fucking video footage going in, going out, going in, going out.
This is where it says here, the hard-coded credentials admin blank make it trivial to connect to the dildo's web admin interface, and even better, the web app serves the video from the camera, and because it's an access point, an attacker within range can identify the users. Gets worse. Unless it's bought by someone who pays attention to their home security, the access point name is static under normal use. That means slime eyes already turn up on war driving sites, so that pervs can figure out where the device is in use and tune its output. They can tune it. It gets worse.
Jesus Christ, what setting did you put it on?
It gets worse still. There's also a Skype interface.
Oh,
so you can change the DNS settings. It's like, who thought it was a bright idea?
To put a camera on a dildo.
And a Wi-Fi access point? What? The thing is, a camera I can on a very loose level understand.
Yeah. Oh, if you want to see if something's wrong,
but a Wi-Fi access point. Hold on, love. I'm just connecting to Google. Give us what?
Just play some songs through the dildo.
Just like
on board when it's inside and all good.
Just playing Smooth Operator under the thing. I don't.
In the autumn night.
In
other weird news.
Are you aware of the NRA, National Rifle Association in America?
Oh, not these pricks here.
A 46-year-old man who is an employee of the NRA was holstering his pistol when it accidentally discharged.
Ooh, who did he kill?
He didn't kill anyone. He managed to shoot himself though.
In the foot.
I don't know where he shot himself. He's been treated in a local hospital for a minor wound on his lower body. No charges expected, etc., etc. The thing is, though, he was demonstrating a weapon to a person, and it's discharged in his pocket. He is gonna go back to work the next week and look like a right cock, innit? Oh, there's Billy again. Shot us. Oh, Billy, do you want a shot? I'm just like, How do you manage to shoot if you've holstered a weapon? So it's in its clip, right?
You're supposed to put it on safe.
Yeah.
Aim is the safe.
But a kickoff is not even. Okay, so even if it's not safe, it's holstered. So it's. How the hell has he managed to do that?
Unless he clipped the thing.
I don't know because I don't know holsters, but as well as you and Mikey.
Mikey knows off the
Mikey knows off the top of his head. Yeah.
This is Mikey. We need you. Get back here.
It's like this isn't, and the worst thing is, it's not the first time this has happened.
To him?
No, to the NRA. Apparently, in 2014, a New Jersey man shot himself in the leg while participating in an event sponsored by the NRA. And then in 2010, a gun instructor in Orlando, Florida, accidentally shot a student in the foot during an NRA-sponsored class. Which it gets better on that one. To receive certification to carry a concealed weapon.
That guy didn't have it.
No. Like, Americans, honestly, like.
Oh, yeah.
Mad.
We could go here for days just complaining about them.
You could, but in weird terms of news, you don't know.
Is that it for weird news? Or
we're going to go on to gaming news because we've got a lot of stuff to get through when it comes to games.
Can we do movie news first?
Do you have any?
I've got the Power Rangers review, I've got the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 review. You've got the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 review.
I'm going to tag in with the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 review, so you start with Power Rangers. Go with Power Cheeses.
Power Cheeses. Power Rangers, one of the best films ever, by the way. Just start her off. Brilliant. If anyone's watched the 1994 kids show, it's basically that, but movie version. Spectacular. Better suits. The story's about them basically getting chosen in a way.
You tell me it's like a... Yeah, okay, yeah.
Well, basically the story is...
Yeah, them becoming Power Rangers, I get that. So it's like an origin story.
It basically is an origin story. It's a funny origin story. I don't want to ruin the plot of it, even though that is the plot of them getting the powers, but the plot...
You've already said it now, so just say it.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert, the main villain is Rita Skeeter, I think her name is, so just Rita. In the old 1994 show, she was goofy with like pointy hat and a stick and all sorts, like orangey clothes. And this one, I can't remember the actress who plays her, but she is hot. Like the hottest villain ever.
Let me see. No, you keep talking.
Okay. What was I going to say? The humour was brilliant. Starts off with a dirty joke. Good way to start off a kids movie. What we thought was a kids movie. It's not a kids movie. The action is superb. The costumes are brilliant, and the story does lead on to the second one, which is quite good. Tommy's going to be in it.
You mean Elizabeth Banks?
Oh, she is hot.
Great.
Green armour.
Have you got what else? Was the soundtrack good? Was the action scenes good?
I was going to get onto that part.
No. Just setting you up.
Thank you. Right. Action scenes. There was only one major fight with the power suits on at the end, basically.
How long?
About 20 minutes.
Okay.
Give or take. The rest of it is them basically getting their powers. The soundtrack, one of the best soundtracks in a movie I've heard in a long time.
Okay.
And they did, when they charged out the swords, this is just, what's the fucking word? When you're reliving your old things, like, it starts with a C. Not memory. It starts with a C. Can't remember the word.
Cock.
Fuck off. Like, basically all they did was charge out the swords and then play the old fashioned Power Rangers tune on. Go Power Rangers.
Yeah, I know what it is. I don't think the word you're thinking of begins with a C though.
What?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to think. I know what you mean, but I don't think it begins with a C.
It brought it back. It was I can't remember. Just it was good. Okay, if you're a 20-year-old now and you used to watch it back in the day, good movie.
Is it a good movie for those people who've never watched Power Rangers?
No. Oh well. Well, I'm a Power Rangers fan. I've watched it since '94 to 2000.
See, that's the thing you need to know.
I've watched it since
Would
I
you
was a kid.
recommend it? Okay, let me rephrase it. Okay, would you recommend it to someone?
Like you.
Well, no, because I've watched Power Rangers. Would you recommend it to someone you know that's never watched Power Rangers before?
Yes, because it's a good story.
There you go.
It's a good story, and if they didn't mind a bit of armor suits, like Transformers-y stuff, and
That's not a good start.
to be honest, everyone thinks this will beat all the Transformers movies to come, because they're bringing out sequels to this, while Transformers are bringing out sequels, and let's face it, Transformers are bigger.
Transformers has never gone up.
Exactly.
It's just got steadily worse.
And everyone seems to think this Power Rangers movie is going to shoot up. If they did as good as they did in this first one, it'll be brilliant. The only issue I have though is they want the Green Ranger to be female.
Oh my god, you're one of them people.
I like it the way it was. Tommy was the Green Ranger, he took charge, he stole the girl from the Red Ranger. It's good. I'm old fashioned like that.
Like you.
In a way. Don't get me wrong, if it happened there'd be a lesbian scene with the Pink Ranger and the Green Ranger.
Oh,
that
for
would
God's
be decent.
sake.
But if they didn't, it'll be good.
You're one of them people, aren't you? You're one of them people who can't... I don't like change. You're one of them... Nah.
Hey, they did change some bits in it, which I thought was good.
That's true, they have.
And they did keep hints of where it was exactly like in the TV show.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
The Black Ranger was a dancer in the TV show.
Was there any things you didn't like? Because that's always the thing that I go into it coming out of film. What did I not like?
We didn't see Tommy.
That's not really a negative.
Okay, we didn't see Tommy and the gold villain, like the massive monster.
Yeah.
We didn't see him in his short form because he was in the TV show.
Yeah,
one of the major villains. Apart from that, nothing. It was a 10 out of 10 film. And when the DVD comes out, bang it straight away and be watching it non-stop.
Okay.
Like a kid I used to be.
So it's a 10 out of 10 then?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that from you because you don't normally give 10 out of 10s to anything, to be brutally honest.
Go Power Rangers.
Although then again, if it's Power Rangers and you're a 10-year-old trapped in a 24-year-old's body, then
22.
I don't care. I'm calling you 29 now. But
yes, peeps, it was a 10 out of 10 movie. You should see it when the DVD comes out. And buy a soundtrack because that is catchy as hell.
So, moving on.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Which we went to... Well, you went to see with your friend and me and Mikey went to see.
Yes. Who's starting this one off you? Because I'm crap at this.
Okay.
We'll joint it.
Yeah, that's
okay,
what
1 point.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 follows on from the events of the first Guardians of the Galaxy, which, if you haven't seen, I'd urge you to go and see it because it is one of the most, I'd say, brave movies that Marvel have made when it first came out, because no one had expected Guardians of the Galaxy to kick off the way it did.
Oh, it did.
But it did, though. And 2 carries on from that with Peter in it. This is in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling it for anyone. It's all about how the fact that he meets his dad, Star-Lord and all that. And the story builds on from there about what his dad's been up to and why Star-Lord's so, I'd say, different from everyone else.
Not different, more
I'd say
unique.
I'd say different, but okay. Unique, different.
It's shown in the first movie, really. You know when he held the...
yeah, it is shown, but this is expanded on more. And it's all about... The main premise is the story of him and his father.
It's basically family throughout the entire movie, really.
It is family, pretty much. It is it's like the alternative Fast and Furious version of family.
It actually is. We got Raccoon, the fucking Rocket, Gamora, Drax,
Nebula.
Yeah, it's all basically our family.
It is the same cast,
family.
and obviously Baby Groot.
I love Baby Groot.
Now, a lot of people have sat there and thought, is this going to be better than the first? Is this going to be as good, sorry, as the first? No, it's better.
Oh yeah, a lot better.
It's a lot better. I'll say this once again, Dave Bautista gets the best lines as Oh, is he playing?
Drax.
He plays Drax. He's just
fucking funny.
he's so funny, and this film is full of laughs.
I think he was born to play this role.
He is.
Stupid and muscle.
Stupid and muscle, and just laughs, and he has the best laugh out of anyone. It's so loud and obnoxious. He delivered one of his best lines of the film. You know, when it gets towards the end. This isn't a spoiler for anyone, but he gets towards the end of the film, and he's with.
Oh, is this the tentacle girl?
Yes. It's just like, you are beautiful on the inside. And it's just, and there's a whole backstory to that, people. But this film was fucking brilliant.
Did you see the start of it? The actual start of the story.
Yeah,
with Groot just running around.
Just with Groot. The whole opening sequence is
the best sequence the Marvel movie has done in a long time.
Oh, better than Deadpool. That's a question for you, isn't it? I'll let you think about that. Now, the acting once again is top notch. You know, you've got you got Zoe Saldana as Gamora, Karen Gillan as Nebula, and I've mentioned, you know, who voices Raccoon again? It's bloody Bradley Cooper, isn't it?
You got Vin Diesel as Groot, even though it is Baby Groot.
Even though it is Baby Groot, yeah. I don't know how the hell he does that voice. And a bunch of other things. The acting in this and the plot in this are very well done. Really awesome, in fact.
The cameos are good.
And the cameos are good. There's a cameo in here from a certain 80s superstar. I'm not going to say the name because it's an unbelievable cameo. You know when he's in the fight with his dad?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who this cameo is, ladies and gentlemen. But honestly, God, it is fucking brilliant. I couldn't stop laughing when he popped up with his friggin' big hair, and it's so brilliantly well written in as well.
Ooh, Pac-Man.
Yeah, and Pac-Man appears. Don't ask how. Just go and see it, because that's all I can urge you to do. The soundtrack to this film is one of the best ever. Soundtracks in the movie.
One of.
No, it is up there. It is one of the best. The soundtrack is amazing. A bunch of like 70s classics mixed in with a bunch of Marvel original scores, which just makes it awesome. So we naturally am on board because I like the 70s music. I can't find fault with this film because there isn't really anything to find fault of. I do like where they're going now with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because they are starting to slowly converge with other storylines in the Marvel Universe. It's taken them longer to get to it.
We saw a bit of Earth, didn't we?
Yeah, we've seen a bit of Earth, so you know we're on our way to Infinity Wars.
I'm surprised I didn't see an Avenger cameo, to be honest.
We don't need it to. Well, I mean, we've seen Stan Lee. That's an Avenger cameo because he was in the Avengers.
There's actually a few ideas of what he actually is in the Marvel Universe because he's in every movie.
It's obvious.
And there's one person who's in every comic, in every situation.
Yeah, Stan Lee.
Yeah.
But
Don't watch it.
It could be, yeah, more than likely actually. This film's great, and I'm gonna let Matty explain some few points from his end what you enjoyed about the film.
What I enjoyed.
You need to tell the ladies and gentlemen what you enjoyed while I disappeared for a minute.
Oh, you're going to piss out.
Be delicate about the situation.
Oh, sorry. Right. Well, where do I go? The humour in it was good. Very funny indeed. I will say Groot is one of the funniest parts in it, apart from Drax. Action-wise, action sequences are pretty much spot on. Makes it with the humour as well. Makes it pretty much perfect. The story does lead on to another movie in the end, which hopefully is going to be quite good with the after credit scene they showed. I guess I'll have to wait for him to come back.
Yeah, it was a very good film. Like I said, I can't find fault with it. There wasn't, even when the scenes it slowed down, you know, and there wasn't really action scenes, it was still good to watch. Mantis was the name you couldn't think of before.
I was talking about the after the credit scene as well.
Yeah, the after credit scene
had
was
5 of them in this one.
Well, there was 2 after credit scenes.
5.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for everyone who stayed and watched, I've seen 2. I've watched it. I'd already seen the others, so I only wanted to watch those 2.
They weren't really big. Well, they were in a way, but they weren't like they used to.
Who is it who's taken over from his?
I mean, the captain.
From his guardian, from Star-Lord's. You know Star-Lord's.
Yeah, the blue guy.
Yeah, who's I can't remember his name in the comics, but that is one of the things when he first gets
used to the whistle. Ow!
That was a great scene, and there are some other ones that you're gonna love.
There's one scene that introduces Adam. Everyone seems to think it's Adam Warlock. I think his name is like a super powerful being from the perfect race.
It could be.
That's what everyone's saying it is.
I mean, my first initial thought was from Adam and Eve, which is not improbable, but I think it would more likely be Adam Warlock because I couldn't think of it at the time.
The final after credit scene was Stanley with the Watchers.
I do think though that we might see a cameo from them in Thor Ragnarok because the universe is getting closer to them now, and Thor obviously if you haven't seen the trailer for Thor Ragnarok, you know Hulk's getting closer and closer to that Planet Hulk comics, which were just incredible.
No, they've basically emerged into one.
Well, yeah, because Universal who've got the right. They've got the film. They've got the publishing rights, and Marvel have got the film rights. But if they produce it and make it, Universal get the profits. That's why Marvel can't get a film out.
They've done something like that with Sony and Spider-Man, apparently.
Well, no, because Sony ballsed it up.
Exactly. They're going to apparently do a couple of movies and then take the rights back.
Yeah, I don't blame them. And there are other things, but
what else about the movie?
When you look about I just like the relationships between all the characters have just been built on again, and I feel like Rocket's character's come a long way since the first time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was going to mention one part, the where Rocket's jumping through all the portals with the 300 jumps, and you just go past Stanley. It's like I'm sure my head started spinning at that point after the last day. Whee!
That's a great scene.
I'd give it a 9.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'd give it a 9. It's a great film. I think it's a fantastic film.
Spot on film, like.
It's probably my favourite film of the year. I mean, I'm discrediting Yu-Gi-Oh only because it's a different type of film.
It won't beat Power Rangers.
No, not for you. I'm going to go over the games that are coming out in May for this month because we are moving on to gaming news. We've already seen the releases of Flat Out 4 Total Insanity. Nier Automa's DLC came out the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen. Oh.
It's called, the DLC pack is called 3C3C1D119440927. That's the name of the DLC for that one. Steep's got a Winterfest DLC. If you didn't know already, Prey, the new game from Bethesda's come out last week.
Prey came out.
A lot of people are sat there, and to be honest with you, if you sat there thinking, when did that come out?
Friday.
They trust me, they marketed it so badly that I forgot it was coming out on Friday. And bear in mind, this is quite a big game from Bethesda. The reviews,
I didn't see a single
reviews
advert.
on I know the reviews on that so far are still in progress because Bethesda do that thing where they don't allow the reviewers, the critics, earlier copies, not like Horizon Zero Dawn or Mass Effect or Persona 5, etc. There are other games that are coming out, a bunch of indie games. If you've got Blops free, there's another DLC coming out for that. Injustice 2, probably the big game of the month that's coming out.
I never did like the Injustice 1 game.
Apparently it's quite good. You've got a DLC that's coming out, Sword Art Online. That's another one that's coming out. Sword Art Hollow Realization Chapter 1, Explorer of Illusory Mists.
I haven't even got the Sword Art Online game. Surprising. I know.
There are other games coming out that are like relatively big. They're not big.
This one isn't really a big month.
Friday the 13th, which I know a game is a lot of people looking forward to. Rhyme, a lovely little indie game that's coming out. I'm very interested.
List.
Not many more because you got, for me, Matthew's Freeze Stones Unturned DLC's coming out, which is at the end of the month. I'm looking forward to that because I've got the DLC, so I'll be playing that during my week off. And MXGP 3 also comes out.
That's the motorbikes, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the cross-country type of game. Which looks actually pretty good, this new one. MotoGP 17 comes out next month.
Oh, God.
But they've got a really cool career mode built into this one. That apparently you can take over your team, you can make your own team and have riders competing for you in all 3 different moto disciplines, which I think is pretty cool. Which, speaking of which, I'm hoping Liberty Media, who are in charge of F1 at the moment, open that up for Codemasters, because I think now that Liberty have come in and they're a bit more on the media side, they might go, well, if we rebrand F2, which they've done, and we've got F3.
Have they rebranded, have they?
Yeah, it's already F2 now. It's not even GP2 anymore. It's F2.
Yeah, boy.
It's just now. It's literally the case of just let Codemasters take F2 and F3 and let them build a big game. Because I think
I imagine that starting from F3,
F3. Because you've only really ever had it in
F1.
The only games that has really ever been done, Project Cars, it was.
They haven't done it in any other.
They have. They've done it in Toka Race Series. They've done that. It wasn't Formula One. It was the Masters GP they did. Which is, you know, again, it's still good. Other sales info for games. Nier Automata has hit 1 million in worldwide sales
already.
This was as of a few weeks ago, so this is good news.
I haven't even played 3 hours worth of it yet.
Persona 5's hit 1.5 million, and it's just like these are big deals because it means now
Japanese games are great.
No, it doesn't. They've always been good. They've just never been successful worldwide. It means that these JRPGs, the previous ones, I'm talking about Persona 4, 3, 2, 1, and the previous, and I'm talking about the previous Nier games and everything as well. Not Final Fantasy, because that's the exception to the rule. It means there might be chances of remasters, and these are the games that need to be remastered and put on so people can play them. Because it might be a lot of people. I mean, me as well. It's the first time ever playing a Persona game, or owning a Persona game rather.
First time playing a Nier game.
But, you know, first time playing a Nier. I mean, I played the original Nier, and that was a good game. This is a chance now for JRPGs. It's like, go on, remaster, go on, remaster them, do it. Poke them with a stick until they do it. Because I want to play previous JRPG. Like Tales of Berseria was another one, and that's part of a long running series.
That's online now, isn't it?
And it's like,
isn't that number 5 now on
something like that, yeah. And it's just, there are some really good games that deserve remastered, put on the PS4. That's what remastering should be. Games that people haven't played before, not a game that came out 2 years ago that gets remastered onto the PS4.
Assassin's Creed.
No, because that didn't get remastered.
Assassin's Creed 2 did.
Yeah, when was the last one? Was Revelations 2009? So came out late 2016, 7 years. That doesn't really call for it, but it is that iconic. It makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, well, Brotherhood wasn't.
Other potential new game rumours that could be coming out.
Yeah, Spider-Man might not be released in 2017. Bummer.
I told you this a while back.
Everyone doesn't know, because apparently...
We've got E3 next month.
I know.
That's all I'm going to say.
But I'm saying one rumour is American store leaked it online. Well, leaked. The release date for the 26th of December. But people are thinking...
That sounds like a placeholder date to me.
That's what everyone's thinking.
That sounds like a placeholder date. You wouldn't schedule it one day after Christmas.
No.
Unless it's a DLC.
They're just thinking it might get released in 2017.
Now, this new game rumour...
Go on. Is it a good game?
Well, I'm going to release the details first, and I'm going to let you have a think about what game this could be.
Go on.
Now, Warner Brothers...
Oh, God.
...have been putting out a summary position for the new art. This is basically what it is. I'll read out the brief. Warner Brothers Games seeks a senior writer for the Avalanche story department. If you don't know, Avalanche are the people who make movie licensed games such as Toy Story, Cars, Disney Infinity, stuff like that. Warner Brothers Games are looking for a talented storyteller with a deep understanding of British culture and grammatical presentation. Applicants should be creative, self-motivated problem solvers who enjoy collaborating with other writers and designers to create an immersive game narrative. If this is you, send us your resume, blah blah blah. They want samples of both humour and drama represented. Now there are other things as well. It's an RPG. We know this, and I'm going to make the key point out of all that is that think of a movie franchise with British culture and grammatical presentation to be working on. Think about it. What is the one game? What is the one film or British film that you can think of with, British culture, grammatical presentation. When I say grammar, I mean grammar.
You mean like poshiness?
With an emphasis on English language rather than anything else.
Okay.
And Warner Brothers. So this is from Warner Brothers, so it must be one of their own works. There's only one game that I can think of that stands out.
I can't think of a single one.
I can.
What?
Harry Potter.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, no.
The thing I thought about this, right? Now,
how did I not think of that?
It makes sense. I'll read it back over to you. Franchise representatives. Harry Potter's a franchise. Avalanche has made movie licensed games such as Toy Story, Cars, Disney Infinity. British culture and grammatical presentation.
School uniforms.
An RPG. Imagine if they had an MMO. Well, not an MMO. An RPG set
Harry Potter.
in real time with houses, Quidditch, classes, and everything. It could work if it's done properly. And
imagine that flying around Hogwarts. Whee!
Yeah, imagine it. It'd be fun.
Down the water.
When was the last time Harry Potter game was? PS2 days, wasn't it? The last Harry Potter game.
The last good one was
the last good
PC
one, yeah.
Back in 2002.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And that was like the actual entire movie.
And I'm not talking about the Lego stuff.
I hate those. I think you're talking about the Quidditch games.
I think yeah, I am. I think that could be I think there's a chance there. I think there's a chance. Get off Tinder. There are other stuff as well. Quick mention on Dirt 4 because that comes out next month, June 4th. June the 4th.
Damn, it's a day before my exams finish.
Get that. Well, no, just buy it on the 5th.
That's what I'm gonna do. Chester Zoo and Dirt, yeah.
Bunch of cars that got announced: Peugeot 205 GTI, Opel Ascona 400,
Ferrari Rallycross car.
No, Ibiza Rallycross car, Group B Rallycross car, bunch of Group B Rallycross cars, which are going to be awesome.
Is this Rallycross going to be like the one on Dirt Rally or the old Dirt 2? The old Dirt 2 racing?
No, Dirt 4, but better. With official licensed tracks.
I never played Dirt 4.
Dirt Rally. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be like Dirt Rally, Rallycross.
Damn it! I hate that.
It's proper Rallycross.
I like the old Rallycross.
That's not
with
Rallycross.
The jumping.
That's not Rallycross.
That is Rallycross.
That is not Rallycross. That is a man flying in a car, looking like a boat,
going very fast over jumping.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that in Rallycross. Yeah. They've got more tracks this time. It's not just 3.
Okay. They
got I think I want to say 6. So that's double the amount. So double the fun.
No, because I remember in Dirt 2 they had the fucking LA fucking track courses going through the stadium out around.
Dirt 3 had that. I wish they had that the Millennium track, the X Games track. That was awesome in Dirt 3. Loved that.
And then the jump. Whee!
You just jump. Why don't you play rally games more often? You like jumps.
I do. I just crash into trees.
Whereas you'd prefer to do it in Dirt 2 where you crash into fans.
Yes.
That says a lot about you there, Matt.
No, not fans. I mean walls.
Now we got some game reviews to do. Well, I have game reviews to do.
I haven't played the entirety of Nier, so I can't do that.
Can't do that.
What else did I? Oh, I did complete Infinite Warfare. I'll just do it in what 2 words? I mean 3 words. Not that bad.
Cool. I've got 2 game reviews to do. Pretty big games. Arguably the big games of the first half of 2017. Mass Effect Andromeda and Horizon Zero Dawn, both of which I've finished.
I may as well just go to Steam for 10 minutes now.
No, because you were going to want to listen to Horizon Zero Dawn at some point because you are tempted to buy that game.
I am indeed.
I'll talk about Mass Effect first because it's the one that I finished the most recently.
I went into why you do that.
No. I don't mind as long as you listen.
I'll listen. I always listen.
Now, Mass Effect Andromeda is a breakaway from the original trilogy of the series. You got a whole new cast and crew. You lead as a Pathfinder known as Scott Ryder, or you can change their first name, but its surname's Ryder. Now, after events that happen when you first make it into Andromeda, you become the Pathfinder of the ship called the Tempest and the Ark that you live in.
That's the big ship, right?
Which is Nexus, which is where all these species will gather to begin with and then spread out to the planets that are habitable in Andromeda. Within the first mission, you meet the antagonists of Andromeda, which are known as the Cat, not the drug that people do in Birkenhead. And I'll talk about them first because, you know, they are the main antagonists. They have a strange design, but they do have quite a quite a puzzling complexion about their society. They don't reproduce. They are asexual as such.
Are we talking about?
I'm talking about the cat here.
Oh,
I'm not talking about people in Birkenhead, which would be the same point. I can understand why people are confused.
Yeah.
We have the cat, and they are hell-bent intent of basically destroying everything in the Helios cluster. They are led by a man called the Archon, who is obsessed with remnant technology. Now, remnant technology, for people that haven't played the game or are only just starting on through the game, is what helps build life-supporting planets. They're built by people that we don't know of, or rather people that we don't know or haven't met as of such. And they help to build these worlds, these remnant pieces of technology, they're known as vaults, help kickstart planets.
So like the old Halo rings?
I didn't play Halo.
Oh, okay.
If Mikey was here, he'd be able to describe it better.
And when we
do the next podcast, or when Mikey does his review, he'll be able to better explain it to you, or at least he'll be able to confirm that.
So it's like an ancient technology built by an ancient race.
I don't know whether they're ancient, but I know they're
old.
They're not here when you arrive.
Okay.
You have remnant creatures though that are effectively, I want to say, robots as such, that defend these vaults, and your mission is to obviously go around and activate the vaults that can help kickstart the life support of the planet. So you've got 5 places you can build on. These worlds are known as Eos, which is the first one, which helps you get into planet building. Kadara is the second one. I'm trying to think of the other ones. Haval is another. There are 2 others off the top of my head that I can't think for the life of me, but not to worry.
Useful.
They're not as crucial. Those 3 are really the big 3. To Haval and Vold is another one. There's the 4th, and you can build 5th one, Eladon. There you go. I knew I'd get all 5 in the end. And you can help build settlements that put the human race on there, as well as other races, of course, but mainly for the humans. And you get to decide whether you want them to be a scientific-based community that helps discover the world of Andromeda and stuff around it, or a military base which, you know, helps against the antagonistic forces and helps defend the citizens that live there, or go round blowing shit up. In Matty's case. Now, in terms of the story, I'll be brutally honest with you. It's not the main story itself. When you go through the actual plot, it's not mega. It's not.
Is it too simple?
I wouldn't say it's too simple. There are parts of the story, the main storyline that is brilliant. The last half, we find out big revelations about things. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone because, you know, that would be cruel, and I'm not you.
Wow.
But there are some revelations in there that are absolutely fantastic.
Does it link in with any of the old games?
There are parts, but not in the main storyline. There are other quest lines that you can do, but there are very few things. I will say this much: you don't need to play the original trilogy to start here.
Right.
You can just jump straight in, and you won't have any problems. The best parts though of this game, in terms of story, comes from your crew. Now you've got 6 companions with you: Cora, PB, Drac, Jarl, Liam, and Vetra. And they're all, you know, there's 2 humans, 1 Asari, one of the new race, which is the Ungaran species.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to know and get to integrate with your characters and your friends. They become friends, and in some cases you can romance characters as well.
I'm pretty sure that's what Mike was boasting about when he's played it.
Yeah, because that's all he does, because he's that vanilla as a person. He just bangs humans in virtual worlds. Whereas if you've got a bit of creativity about you and a bit of a normal mindset, you'd rather bang an alien. Logic. Now, you would. You would. I know I would. Anyway, There are many different things in terms of aspects of the story that I could bang on about, but the main story for me and the best part of the game is the build up and the relationships that you can build with these characters. Because you've got Liam, who's a human, but he's basically a walking fucking failure at times. He just bollockses everything up. You know, when you get one of those people who just goes, "Oh, you couldn't have made that mistake any worse." So you have. He's that person. And then you've got Jarl, who's the Angaran, who, as a new species, you're like, oh, okay, what type? And he's very emotional and very honest with you, which is quite a good thing. You've got Drac, who's a Krogan, who arguably is probably the best character of the lot because he's pretty fucking cool. He's a big tank with armour, and his armour's got bones of the people he's killed around it.
That's the guy you don't want to piss off.
That's the guy you don't want to piss off, but he's really, really cool, and I like Drac a lot. And there's actually quite a critical story part where there's an option to pick one option or another, and it will affect him. But I'm not going to say what that is, and I'm not going to say what the outcome would be of that, because again, that's a spoiler.
Can I say one of the outcomes?
No.
Is it bad?
We don't know, but we know that it will affect something in the next games, because there will be a next game because of the way the ending is set up.
Okay.
Now, I've talked about the story. I've talked about the characters. The characters are great, by the way. I've seen a lot of shit about them online, saying, "Oh, they're not as good as the original trilogy."
Another person who can't get over the past.
And it's like,
I know them get well.
yeah, and I'm sat there and I'm thinking, all right, okay, let's wind this back now. If you're going to compare this game to the original trilogy, first things first, one, you're wrong, because of comparing it to a set of characters from the original trilogy, which has been built up over 3 games, is very, very unfair. If you're going to compare it to the original trilogy, which
that's probably
everyone
why
is,
you probably got too attached.
Exactly. If you're going to compare it, you compare it to the first Mass Effect game that came out of the original trilogy. There are many things that this game does better than the first game.
Go on.
Such as, I think overall I prefer the characters. The combat is superb. The combat
based or
it's not. It's just action. It's
like
just action.
Destiny.
It's open world, so I'd say so. Yeah. The combat is brilliant. The skill moves and stuff that you can do is fantastic. I do think they missed a trick by not allowing you to control your squad members' skill moves like it could in the original trilogy, which is a bit of a negative point. I wish I could have done that, but I'm more than happy to go with the flow and go through with that. I do think there are other things that are better, such as I prefer the Tempest as a ship compared to the Nomad, to the Normandy. And I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, the Normandy was great. It was. The problem with the Normandy, though, was in the first game, you had to go up and down between floors using an elevator and a game engine that was very buggy, which genuinely at times broke the game. But I do like the layout of the Tempest. It's a lovely ship design, the way they've done it. And it's only a light class ship, so it's not as big as the Normandy at all. But it is good to go around and explore. And the other little thing, it's just a little touch. You can go to in the original Mass Effect games, if you liked a certain character, you knew where they'd always be on the ship. You just go to that one place and they're there. In the Tempest, they actually swap around places and are in different places at different times.
Oh, that'd be fucking annoying, wouldn't it?
Well, no, if you go on the map, you can see where they are and then just go to them. But it's quite cool to know that they're socialising with other people and going around different parts of the ship. Little things that are quite good.
Visuals.
That's another part to go on to. I will talk about one other thing. There are other things I need to compare with the first game, because it's only fair to do so. The Mako, which was the original, how can I put it, vehicle that you drive around on planets, was at the best of times a wobbly boat. This Nomad, which is a 6-wheeled driving machine, is a lot better to control. It doesn't have any weapons like the Mako did, but that's not the end of the world. That's what guns are for. But it's very nice to drive it, because they had development work from the Need for Speed team come in and help them develop how the Nomad should drive over bumps and how it would go over mountains, and you can see it's worked there for them, and they've done a good job. There are things compared to Mass Effect 1 that they haven't done that is good though. The soundtrack, for example. Now, I know it's a bit harsh to compare it to Mass Effect 1 for the soundtrack, because Mass Effect 1 has one of the greatest soundtracks of all time in gaming. Mass Effect Andromeda doesn't really exist. It's there, but it's... You know when the audio balance is wrong and you can't really hear it?
Over the car going...
No, it's just... Yeah, actually, or over people talk, and it's just... It's... The actual soundtrack itself is not bad to listen to. I've listened to it on Spotify's playlist, the official one that they've done. It's actually quite a nice soundtrack. I think it's pretty decent, but there are no memorable pieces. There aren't ones that stand out. You go, yes, I remember that from that game and that scene.
Okay.
But it's not bad as such. And overall, there aren't many bad things about Andromeda, but there are bad things. And I know someone might be sitting there thinking, did that make sense? It did, it's just the way I phrased it. There are a number of issues with Andromeda. The first things first being that I bought this game on release day. And
you just finished it.
No, that's not the problem. The big problem is that the Archon as a villain is... You know when you get great villains and you're like, oh, I hate that person, or they're twat, I don't want to kill them.
Yeah.
This Archon guy just feels like, oh, he's there. He's just sort of there and about, and it's just like, okay, whatever, yeah, I'll kill you at the end, cool, whatever. You know that's what it's going to come to. The second problem is, after buying this game and playing it at release day, there are I know they've done a patch which has improved it, but there are parts in this game that are virtually unplayable. Like
glitchy.
Frame rates are poor, and I mean, there's one part on Eos, which is what the first main world you get to, and it's
there are games like that.
You're going down to like 9 frames per second, and like really bad. I know it's been patched since, and it has improved it, and I have played it since, the same mission since, and it has improved. But at launch, that's pretty unfucking forgivable. I know I gave Fallout 4 a long time ago a free pass for that because it was the first time it ever happened.
Guess what game that reminds me of? Assassin's Creed Unity.
Yeah, exactly. The frames are as bad as that at times. But that was when it first came out.
Is the character also hanging from a ledge that isn't there?
You do get scenes where there are glitches that happen, and they are clipping issues where the characters are, in some cases, my glitches haven't been that bad, but there are like cut scenes where the people are walking through that floor, and it's like, okay, that's pretty immersion breaking.
To be honest, there are quite a few games like that.
But it shouldn't be. You know what I mean? At launch, I can understand glitches here and there.
Assassin's Creed's main
not like Unity or Fallout 4.
Are they ever going to fix Unity, by the way?
No.
I went on that a while ago.
No.
It's such a good game as well, story-wise.
No.
And they ruined it.
No. Now,
bastards.
There are other things. The one thing that is the big negative in this game, and it is a big negative because it's...
You can't fly a ship.
That doesn't bother me. If you want to fly a ship, go play No Man's Sky.
Star Trek.
Or Star Trek. Or go play the Bridge Crew, you know. The big negative of this is the facial animations. Now, I know a lot of people have made it banging on about the facial. Oh, they're not animated properly. Okay, first things first, it turns out that the facial animations for this game were outsourced by a third party.
Really?
So that was a big bad move from BioWare. They really cocked up the facial animations in some regards. Scott Ryder, in scenes where you would expect empathy from your main characters to show support, depending on whether you pick male or female.
It's just blank.
He looks like he's got a tired face. It's like, do you love me? And it's like this. I love you too. It is. At times it's really bad. At other times it's actually not noticeable. But you do sit there and you think, oh, it's just BioWare animations, typical BioWare, not putting much effort into it because they're a bit poo. But something went wrong in those vector lines that they used, and they just didn't work. It's a shame, really, because it was such a big talking point, and it shouldn't have been, but it turns out it was. So sadly, we've ended up having to pay the price for it, really, and having to put up with
Such
it.
a big game, such a big problem.
It's such a big, such a big anticipation. Big following, Mass Effect. Let's not forget one of the.
Why the hell did third party that? Stupid thing to third party.
I don't know.
He'd at least third party the music.
No.
At least he'd have music.
It's got music in it. It's just it's just not loud enough. They just need to balance it, and it'll be fine.
What you waiting? And then we can move on to the long-awaited Horizon Zero Dawn.
It's not a bad game at all. A lot of people are giving it a lot of negative press, and I think it's because they're clouded by the original trilogy. Like the empty seat that's here would have said. It's a good game. It sets up a sequel. It does a good job of doing that, and I think there's a lot of unanswered questions that need answering. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to playing the next Andromeda game. I know there's some people going, "Oh, we need to reset the universe. Oh, it's cross." It's not. Just get the original trilogy out of your head and play the fucking game. I'm sat in an 8.2. That's a good score, I think.
The crap you were giving it then, I thought it was going to be like 7 or 6.
No, it's not. For me, they're not big issues, but they needed to be talked about.
Okay.
I think it's an 8, yeah. I'll scale it back to an 8.
Next game before we head off to golf.
Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn, which took the honour for me of being the most anticipated game of the year, only just ahead of Project Cars 2 and Persona 5.
So it's going to be a big review as well.
I'm going to try and condense it as much as I can.
Good, because the daylight is dying.
There's loads of daylight, shut up. Horizon Zero Dawn, you play Aloy, a cast-out member of the Nora tribe, for reasons which will be explained at another time. And you end up in a post-apocalyptic world, I say apocalyptic, basically nature's reclaimed the world 1,000 years after events transpired that caused them to end up being in the Earth to be in the situation that it's in. Now you get as the story goes on, it gets explained what happened and why Aloy was cast out, and you get Aloy is the name of the main character.
Okay.
And you even get to play as a very young Aloy, which is pretty cool, and it shows how she got her focus, which helps to scan robot dinosaurs, or robots, dinosaurs, whatever you want to call them. I call them robot dinosaurs because it's cool, and it shows you how she got the focus and how she learned how to scan animals and show how to defeat them, what are their weak parts and what are the really tough parts that you don't want to go near. Now there's 26 different robots that you can go up against in the game. Now you might sit there and think that's not a lot. No, trust me, it is, because there are robots out there that are fuckers and you don't want to go near them because they are twats. And each robot has a different design or a different selling point. So you've got little stuff like watches. Watches are the type that if you've got a big pack of herd of robots going along, they're the ones that are scouting out and looking at the dangerous locations. You hit them in the eye, they die. That's good fun. It's really good to have a go at trying to go up against it. And they range again. So you got other ones such as broadheads. Now they look like a robot version of an ox, or like a cattle with horns, etc. Now, get off your phone.
That's Johnny.
Okay. Now you can mount these and you can traverse around the world. There is fast travel as well, but if you're like me and you're like scouring around the world and
how big's the map?
Pretty big. I'd say that it's all full of different things.
Like Witcher big, or
not as big as the it's as big as one of the Witcher 3's maps. So I want to say, what's the starting location in The Witcher?
That small little castle.
No, not the castle, not Novigrad.
There's Novigrad.
Not the starting. The starting area when you start fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's because it's bloody. The swamps.
You mean that small little village?
Not the small village.
You said that's the first bit.
Sorry, not that part.
The main map.
When you go into the main map.
Right, the main map, which involves Novigrad and the south part.
All of that big part. It's about that big.
Oh, that's alright then.
It's massive in places, and you get all the differences. So you got desert, snowy mountain tops, lush green fields, and also. And I'll be honest with you, I've seen people playing on the PS4 Pro. PS4 Pro. On a PS4 Pro. No, to be fair, I've seen it on a Pro console, and it's just, and it's like, wow, look at it. The graphics. I mean, I'm not the biggest person to go chasing after graphics, but fucking hell, the game looks stunning. On a PS4 normal though, it still looks good. It still looks very good. Sits there at a happy 60 frames per second on a normal console. No performance issues at all. I've had no problems. And and you know, one of the amazing things about the game, and it's going back to the robots, is how they're designed and how they fight. Each individual one has a different type of fighting style, but because they're quite animalistic, they can also hunt you down in packs. So you can get cornered at one point and you'll literally sit there thinking, I've got to deal with a snap jaw, I've also got to deal with a broadhead, I've also got to deal with a watcher and a bellowback. And if you don't know what a bellowback is, just Google it, because they're fucking huge.
Is that the big massive tall thing?
No, that's a tall neck, which acts as a opening in the next part of the map up sort of thing. They don't have any fighting capabilities, they just walk around. Scaling up them though is so cool.
I did see one video on YouTube where this guy has to kill one of the main robots.
Yeah.
It was like a tigery type robot. 4 legs.
There's a couple with 4 legs.
It was massive though.
They are big. And then you've got to, I mean, I'm not even talking about the 2 biggest robots that you've got to go up against, which is a Thunderjaw and I've forgotten the bird. Stormbird. There you go. Just for the record, Stormbirds are the most... Well, I mean, you've played Dark Souls, so obviously this wouldn't apply to you, but they are one of the most difficult robot enemies to take down that I've ever come across, because they're just awkward to deal with. You shoot parts off them, but it's like they've got more parts hidden, and you've got to try and take them parts down while it's flying at you from all different angles, and you've got to be bloody good in this game to shoot parts off. It's not easy. The first couple of hours are getting used to the game. Once you get used to the game, it's very intuitive. It's like, you know, and they flip buttons round, but they make sense, like, you know, scanning is square and, you know, crouching and stuff. It's quite interesting with the way they do it. The story itself,
plot.
Yeah, because the combat, I'm not going to say any more about the combat, but it is fantastic.
Right.
Anyone who's looking for a bit of a refreshment in terms of how to deal with robot dinosaurs and stuff, you're going to love it. It is really well done. The combat's fantastic, and the design of the robots is incredible. The story itself is very eye-opening, actually. I'm going to say this now. There is a potential for a sequel. They have opened that up. It is a potential possibility. The story is basically Aloy's journey of... I can't say anything without spoiling it, but she goes through a personal journey where she has to fight against one big enemy at the end, but it takes a long time for people to figure out what that enemy is and how you've got to fight it, because the final boss battle, or the final big battle at the end of the game, is very, very good fun. It's a huge, like, it is effectively a war zone almost, and there are a lot of very, I wouldn't say very emotional parts. Yeah, actually I would, where you feel sorry for Aloy's character because of the subjugation she's had of being cast out and what she's had to deal with, but then the happiness you feel in other parts when she's going out and discovering other tribes and how they treat her, and it's really cool. Aloy is potentially one of the best protagonists I've ever come across in a game.
Even better than Geralt of Rivia.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought Geralt was cool, but I didn't think he was better than Nathan Drake.
Nathan Drake's funny. He's just cool.
Nathan Drake's amazing. Nathan Drake, there's actually quite a few. I want to say it's quite similar, because Nathan Drake has humour, and that's how his character is, and that's how he's so relatable. Aloy has realism and sarcastic comments. It's just like, there's one point she's got this spear that can override the robots at certain points, and you can upgrade that as well. And there's a merchant salesman she goes to speak to who's quite religious, and he goes, how does that thing work? And she goes, basically you take the pointy end and you stick it in. It's just really sarcastic quips that are so good to watch, and she's a cracking character, she really is. And I think, you know, we look at PlayStation icons over time like Sackboy, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, Nathan Drake. Aloy's going to be up there with them because she is.
This is just a PlayStation exclusive.
This is a PS4 exclusive, yeah. And it is. I was worried 2 weeks before this game came out. I'd seen all the good press in the news. They got the early access reviews out the way a month beforehand.
Really?
They did. Guerrilla Games let everyone review it, and it was 9s across the board. At least it sits on 89 out of 100 on Metacritic. It's in the top 20. I want to say top 20 PS4 games of all time. If you take out the indie releases, I think it's in the top 10 of big games of all time for PS4.
I think Batman's in there as well.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And I was worried 2 weeks beforehand. I was like, am I going to love this game? Because I really, in my head, I'd hyped it up. I didn't mean to.
You did hype it up quite a bit.
I had.
Yeah, definitely. Every week.
That's what I did.
Come on, guys, Horizon's going out soon.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, guys, Horizon's out next week. We know.
I know. And I, honest to God, at the end of the game, I've platinumed the game as well for people.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's not hard to platinum. It's not one of those games. It's not like Assassin's Creed where you got to go and fetch 100 feathers.
That's just a piss.
That's just taking the piss. This one, it's got things where it's got collectibles. Not many, but they're located on your map. So you could just go to them, you know where they are. It's not like Assassin's Creed where you've got to go through every single nook and cranny to find it.
Literally every single fucking hole.
And it does other things, like, health bar, when you get like consumables to consume health, but you only got like a little bit of health, but you've got to use the full packet to like go. This one, you go around collecting berries and all sorts of stuff. It only uses up what it needs.
That's actually
it's a simple thing, but it's so easy to do.
I might get that instead.
It's a great game. It's a fantastic game. If you want to platinum it, it'll take about 50 hours. It's just not long to platinum a game like that, of that size. I was thinking about this last night, and as I said, the weakness. I was worried, and after playing the game, I thought, my God, Guerrilla Games deserves one of the biggest praise. This is a game company who came from doing Killzone, a first-person shooter, limited size map, small scale, into a big open world game with beautiful designs, stuff that they've never done before, and they nailed it. Like, there has been, the game came out on March the 4th, I think, first week of March. There have been, right, because any bugs or anything, because when the game came out there was virtually no bugs.
Mm-hmm.
There's been 13 patches for it.
Really?
And I know a lot of people are sat there going, well, isn't that quite bad then? No. Any clipping issues that there was have gone. Any little other thing, I haven't seen a bug since the first week of the game, and I've only seen two in a game. Like, that doesn't happen. I know a lot of people are like, oh, why are you getting... It doesn't happen anymore, and it's sad that gaming is the way that it is, that you've now got to wait for patches for a game to work, i.e. Mass Effect, i.e. AC Unity, i.e. etc.
That got a patch to complete the game.
That got a patch to complete the game, that's what I mean. They've patched stuff, and then do you know what they've done? We've gone on social media to see what the big comments are, what people really want. They've added this week, they're adding in new photo mode stuff. They're adding just adding new stuff to the game all the time, and what else did they do? There was one thing at launch that they didn't have, and it was bulk buying stuff, because you can bulk sell stuff, and there's a little thing that you can click and it turns the wheel and stuff. You couldn't bulk buy stuff though, which was quite strange. So a week later, button added in for it. And it's just straight, no messing about that, adding stuff in. And now they've only just started talking about single player DLC afterwards. Only now have they started talking about it. Didn't do a season pass or anything with the game. And it's just, I think Guerrilla Games should be commended as being fantastic, and they've done a great job of the game.
Is it wilderness or city? I was just thinking.
But the game?
Yeah.
It's everything. There's a city, there are ruins of cities there as well. And everything, and it's really the art design. I got the full blown bollocky edition.
You got the full fucking lot, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's well worth it. If I'd have paid 50 quid for the normal version, I'd be so pleased. Naturally, I paid more because it's.
You paid like 100.
Mm-hmm. But it was worth it. It's worth every penny.
Right,
and more.
Out of 10.
It's a 10 for me. Simple.
Wow, it's like the first game for 10 apart from Project Cars.
And Uncharted 4. And the thing is, there is only one game to have received the Platinum Award that we do, and the Platinum Award is just utter excellence, and it's only applied to those games that have got 10 out of 10.
What's the Platinum Award for us?
Uncharted 4.
Is that the only one?
Which is me and Mikey both gave it that. 10 out of 10 Platinum.
You giving this one the same?
I was thinking about this the other day, and I said to myself, the only way I can be fair, because the first thing I thought was Platinum Award straight away.
Right.
But then I thought about it and I said, is this game as good as Uncharted 4? I thought that's the only way you can really give it a Platinum Award. If it's as good, it doesn't necessarily have to be better. It doesn't necessarily have to be the same genre, but does it give the same fun? Does it have the same moments that Uncharted 4 has?
Mm-hmm.
Or any other 10 out of 10 game that might not have been on this console? In the end, I'm saying no. And the only reason why, and it upsets me to say this, Uncharted 4 has moments in the game where you go into Madagascar and there's this huge fight. You're sliding through mud, caped in it, shooting and jumping from vehicle to vehicle, like big moments. Or Mass Effect 2, the suicide mission, or Crash Team Racing, which is just a fucking amazing game in turn. They've all got moments in them that stand out, and years down the line, I mean, Uncharted 2 came out in 2009, that's 8 years ago, and people look back on that and go, wow, do you remember the train scene? A train scene, one of the best missions I've ever done in my life. 8 years later on, they still talk about how good that mission is. Horizon Zero Dawn, as brilliant and as amazing it is, doesn't have a moment like that. That's not to say it's bad at all, because I've given it 10 out of 10, so it can't be bad. There are no negatives at all with this game.
It just doesn't give us the same fuzz.
No, it's not even. It's just it doesn't have a big moment where you'll look back in time and go, do you remember doing that?
Or climbing up the tall dinosaur thing.
Tall necks are awesome to climb up, but they're not big. The first time you ever see a tall neck is unbelievable. It's like, it blew my mind when I first seen it. It's like, how is it there? How is it that big? It's walking, and the best thing is, because it's that big, when you get to ground level, you get close to it, and you can hear it crank and move. It's just phenomenal. You're like, how is it doing that? How has someone designed it to do that? But it's 10 out of 10.
Right.
I want to give it a platinum. I'll decide at the end of the rankings when I've done it. Because it is one of them games where I am literally spinning the wheel of going yes, no, yes, no.
Okie dokie. So that's the end of the podcast then.
Pretty much. Quick point to mention though. This year, great year for gaming so far. Been fantastic. I'd had a check on Metacritic.
Go on.
The top 100 PS4 titles of all time that have been ranked by the critics. 13 of those titles out of the top 100 have come from 2017 alone.
Shoot.
We're only in May. We're in May, and it's 13. I know 2016 was the best year for gaming so far on PlayStation, and that's got 33 games in the top 100. I think 2017 is going to come pretty damn close. It's been a fantastic year for games so far. Persona 5, which my review is still in progress for that. There are, Dirt 4 comes out. Destiny 2.
Formula 1 2017.
Uncharted 4. I haven't even heard anything about that. Uncharted.
You never do it till July.
Lost Legacy. There's so much stuff coming out this year. It's going to be fantastic, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. But as Matty said, that's the end of it. If you want
to go golf. Yeah.
Not yet. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can do. You can follow me at JackTM53 or Mikey Keating at I'm in a boat.
Yeah.
No, it's Mikey Keating XD. You can also like us on Facebook. You can do other stuff as well. You can comment on our YouTube channel. Someone did the other day, said it was a great video. Thank you.
Don't say that was just one of your gaming videos.
No. That was one of the podcasts.
Really?
Yep.
We actually got a comment.
We actually got a comment. Thank you, whoever that was.
We deserve a congratulations cake.
Yeah, we do. But thanks for that. You could subscribe to us. That'd be great. Or you could just keep watching because
please keep commenting and liking.
If you just watch, I'd be happy because it's been a while since we last did a podcast, so I imagine viewership will be down.
Where was this person from?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the analytics, so I don't know, but I know someone has commented. But it's been a nice podcast to come back to. Nice, relatively long one. It wouldn't have been as long, obviously, without the reviews.
Yeah, well,
it'd have probably just hit about an hour, which would have been spot on. So we've done well to get to an hour and a half.
We've done well with you talking for half an hour.
Yeah, we've done great. So, It's bye from Matty.
Bye bye.
It's bye from me, and we've been the S Team.